Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So, it was just a couple of years ago that I reviewed not just one of my favorite wrestling video games, but just one of my all-time favorite video games, WWF No Mercy. And within that review, I talked about how disappointed I was that there was never a real follow-up to the game. Nothing against the Def Jam games, but they just weren't No Mercy. In that review, I also talked about how excited I was that AEW, All Elite Wrestling, would be making their own video game. They hired on development team Yuke's, who's known for doing a bunch of wrestling games, and they also hired Hideyuki Geta Awashida, who has been set to be the director, who also happened to be the director for WWF No Mercy. This just sounds like a winning combo, and I've been excited as hell ever since this was all announced. Well, we waited forever and ever for this game to come out, and now it's finally surfaced. Does it live up to expectations? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AEW Fight Forever. So, before we continue, I guess I should say that I'm playing version 1.01 of Fight Forever. I don't typically review modern day games, but I think it's important to note which version of the game I'm playing. Also, if it makes any difference, I'm playing the Xbox version. AEW Fight Forever is AEW's first console video game. It was first announced way on back towards the end of 2020, and since that time they kept promoting it as a spiritual successor to WWF No Mercy. Now, I love me some No Mercy, and I understand that nostalgia has a lot to do with it, but really, I think that game is still great, and I still play that game today. I think it's just fun. It certainly has its faults, and it has plenty of room for improvement, but it's still an awesome title. If you got a wrestling game coming out and you're gonna compare it to No Mercy, you got some pretty big shoes to fill. They also promoted this game as going back to the golden age of wrestling games, with that more arcade-style gameplay. Which is funny to me because back in the day, it was WWF No Mercy that was known for its simulation gameplay style, while it was the SmackDown games that were known for being very arcade-like. So let's go ahead and start talking about this game, and let's start with the thing that this game is criticized the most for, its graphics. As someone who loves playing retro video games, I honestly don't find the graphics as a turnoff, but with that said, I can admit that this game is not the prettiest. Some wrestler models look fine, but others just look off, like so off. For example, look at Jon Moxley. I see him and I think of either Butters or that yellow guy from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Though to be fair, I suppose he's looked off in every game he's been in. A lot of move animations in this game look pretty rough too. All in all, this game looks like it was made for the Xbox 360. I actually wanted to get this game for my Nintendo Switch, strictly for the portability, but I thought I'd better go ahead and get the Xbox version since the graphics will be ever so slightly better. After playing the game for the time that I have, I kinda wish I would have gotten for the Switch instead, because honestly, you ain't missing much visually if you downgrade a bit. I'd much rather have this game on the go. Now let's talk about the most important thing, the gameplay. So, does it play like WWF No Mercy? Yes and no. If you are a No Mercy fanatic, you'll have the right idea on how to play. However, the muscle memory of playing on something like this doesn't exactly translate well to this, so you might have to configure the controls around a bit. I'm not going to go in depth with how the controls are because I hate going into details on controls when I review a wrestling game, but we got the basics. A button for light punches, heavy kicks, running, and there's even an Irish whip button. A tap on the grapple button will be a light grapple, and holding down the grapple button will lead to a strong grapple. All in all, very on par with No Mercy. What's slightly modified is how your signature moves and finishers are done. When your momentum meter reaches special, you can put your opponent into position and press the D-pad to activate your signature. Alternatively, when your momentum reaches special, flick that right joystick to taunt and activate special mode. You now have a short amount of time to put your opponent into position for your finisher. If it's a grapple, either grapple and flick the right joystick, or just flick the right joystick on its own, and you'll perform that finisher. Unlike past Aki games, once you hit your finisher, your special mode will end. And that's the basics of the gameplay. Something new to this game are skills, like Guard Break, that lets you hit an opponent with a strong strike even if they're blocking. Then there's the Grit skill that gives you a special pinfall kickout. There's also Elite Defense that lets you reverse a finisher, Kip Up that'll allow you to bounce back to your feet if you get knocked down, and a bunch of other ones of that nature. To me, the most interesting skill is Orange Cassidy's Sloth Style skill that sees him put his hands in his pockets. It even adjusts his moveset to match like he does on TV. And for the most part, with all the moves and skills and everything, all the wrestlers have their own feel to them. Like if you play as someone like Sting, or Powerhouse Hobbs, or Penta, you're really going to notice how different each one feels. And like I mentioned back in my No Mercy video, I really liked how they made all the weapons so interactive. But in Fight Forever, they take everything to a whole new level. Oh man, this shit gets crazy. There's 30 plus weapons in the game. Some of them are pretty similar, like the crowbar, baseball bat, golf club, and barbed wire bat. There's even a tennis racket if you want to release your inner Jim Cornette, something I'm sure AEW fans will enjoy. There's tables too. You can prop them in the corner or you can stand them up, but plan your move right and you can slam your opponent right through it. If you have a special while holding onto a table, you can even light it on fire. There's actually quite a few weapon finishers in this game. There's some more fun weapons too, like you can bash someone over the head with a bit of the bubbly. One of my favorites is the skateboard. And also, how about a goddamn exploding propane tank? Holy fuck! There's also thumbtacks in the game, but for the life of me, I haven't been able to find them. The weapons really up the fun factor on this gameplay. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the game. And all in all, I would say the gameplay is really good. It could use a few adjustments under the hood, but it's really the best part of the game. It might feel a little wonky at first, but I find the more that I play, the more I enjoy it. Now when it comes to match types, we've got quite a few. There's the standard one-on-one matches, there's the Lights Out match, which is your no DQ match, Falls Count Anywhere, which is like Lights Out, but you can win anywhere in the match. You got a standard 2-on-2 tag match, a 3-way match, and a 4-way match. We also got a Casino Battle Royale, which is AEW's over-the-top Royal Rumble-like match. We also got ladder matches. To pull down the briefcase, you just have to follow the button prompts until it's pulled down. It's not too gimmicky, and it's pretty straightforward. I like that. And last, we got the exploding barbed wire death match. Beat the shit out of your opponent by throwing them into the exploding barbed wire or the barbed wire table. There's also a countdown, and once it reaches 0, that, well, happened. Just continue the match as before, I guess. And that's it for match types. It's not a whole lot, and what's worse is that there's no options to edit the rules or anything like that. So say you wanted to make a submission match by turning off pinfalls. Nope, can't do that. Say you want to have a 4-way match with eliminations. Nope. Tornado tag match? Nope, strictly standard tag. Ladder matches are also only one-on-one. Same with the barbed wire death matches. You can't even set a time limit to any of the matches. And what's weird is that when I was playing the game through the story mode, Road to Elite, I fought in a handicap 2-on-1 match, but in the exhibition options, it's not available. Why? If the match is already programmed into the game, why can't I select it? There's a lot lacking in terms of options, but speaking of lacking, let's go ahead and talk about all the creative modes. So let me first state that WWE 2K23 has one of the best creation modes of not just any wrestling video game, but best creation mode out of any video game that has a creation mode. You can create anyone. It's at that point that making a creative wrestler can just be an overwhelming task. You have to think about how you want your wrestlers' eyelashes, fingernails, and teeth look. It's ridiculous. And there's no way I would think that Fight Forever would be able to come even close to 2K's creation suite. But man, they even surprised me with how basic Fight Forever's creation modes are. You want to create a wrestler? Well, here's 8 faces to choose from, and that's it. Here's some hair options, not a lot. Here's only 8 types of facial hair too. And here's hoping you don't want to make any wrestler taller than 6'7", because that ain't happening. What? That's so basic. It's sad, and it gets worse. When it comes to clothing, the options are minimal. Some apparel, you can't even change the colors. Your wrestler also can't wrestle with any kind of shirt or top, unless it's one of these full body attires. When it comes to tights, it's slim pickings too. It's all just plain options. There's a few Kenny Omega tights to choose from, but you can't change the color on these either. There's no logo adding to anything, so it's all just very bare. And what might seem like a lot of options to choose from, it's just cluttered with camo and flag designs. Boring. And it makes no sense. Create a Wrestler mode is one of the most popular wrestling modes in video games today, and it just seems like it was an afterthought here. Which, if you know anything about modern wrestling games, Create a mode is played more than the matches themselves. When it comes to assigning your moves, at least that is decent. They even put in a bunch of WWE wrestler finishers in there, like the Pedigree, Stone Cold Stunner, Rock Bottom, and the Tombstone Piledriver. And despite entrances only being about 6 seconds long, you got quite a few options to choose from, which even includes adding props. There's even a few modern day WWE wrestler entrances added. But what good is it when the best you can create a wrestler ends up looking like this? There's also a mode for making tag teams. You select the members and create an entrance for them. Not much else to really say, so I'll go right into create an arena. It's super easy to slap an arena together, but again, the options are minimal, and there's not a lot of variety. It's kind of a letdown by the lack of stage designs, as it leaves every arena looking pretty damn similar. And when it comes to creating a ring, Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor too. Would it have killed them to add some ROH options in here too? So besides Exhibition and Create a mode, the other big mode in this game is Road to Elite, which is this game's story mode, and it's okay. So you pick a wrestler to start with. If you plan on playing this game with created wrestlers, I suggest you use that created wrestler here, as it's the only way to bring up their stats. Anyway, pick a wrestler and you'll go through some matches. You'll fight several matches before eventually fighting at a pay-per-view. There's some story elements along the way, but nothing to really get you too invested. Between matches, you can work out to gain some skill points, or you can go to a restaurant to regain some momentum. You can even go sightseeing. But going back to the visuals, this just looks so bad. It's just your character model standing in front of a real stretched out picture. It just looks so low budget. You can also go up against the Young Bucks and play some mini games. Some are really out there, like trying to mask the fan or skateboarding better than your opponents, but some are kinda lame, like where's Orange Cassidy? So far, I haven't played all the mini games, but from the ones I have, I don't think I'll ever be excited to play them a second time. So after 4 pay-per-views, the mode is complete. The mode, all in all, is just okay. There's a lot of funny lines here and there, and it's quirky in its own way, but I don't care much for it. However, the mode is a necessity if you want to level up your created wrestler. Personally speaking, I kinda wish this game had a season mode, like something from WrestleMania 2000 or SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. It could have really been fun going through that kind of mode, having some different stories, winning different belts, and it actually feel like it means something, and unlocking new characters as you beat them. But I digress. So those are all the modes. There's online too, but I don't really play that. There's also a shop where you can buy new creator parts, entrance moves, music, alt attires, and even wrestlers. There's a jukebox you can mess with to play your specific music choices while you wrestle matches. You can even select between having Rick Knox or Aubrey Edwards as your referee. And all of this is AEW Fight Forever. So, how is the game? Well, I feel like they got the core, the gameplay down. But it's going to take a lot of updates and patches to really make this game something really significant. The gameplay is easily the best part. It's really fun to play. It just needs to be expanded on. And I mean that in simple ways, like more match types and match options. They need to quadruple up on the options available in Create a Wrestler mode too. Having a lame Create a Wrestler mode can break the game for a lot of people. It's just baffling that there's moves, call names, and entrance stuff for wrestlers not in the game, but you can't create anything even close to resembling those wrestlers. We need more Create a Wrestler parts added ASAP. And I'd like to see them update the store in the game too. It would be cool to see some more alternate attires, like some Blackpool Combat Club attires for Moxley and Danielson, something quirky like Captain Insano for Paul White, or how about the Painmaker for Chris Jericho. And hopefully the game sells well enough that we get some more DLC characters. 50 plus wrestlers in the game sounds pretty good, but there's so many AEW wrestlers missing, some that appear on TV all the time now. I hope this game sells well enough that not only are they able to update this game, but I'd like to see a sequel. I doubt it'll be able to be done through patches and whatnot, but it'd be nice to see trio tag matches with the trios championships. We also need cage matches, backstage brawls, blood and guts, gauntlet matches, and special guest referee matches added. And we need to see all of the creative modes just fully updated. And as of today, as of this recording, AEW just announced that there's going to be a free update that includes the Stadium Stampede mode. It's a 30 wrestler battle royale and it just looks insane. Considering this game has only been out for a couple of weeks and AEW is already announcing new modes, this is definitely a good sign. While the game as a whole might seem kinda bare right now, especially for a full-priced game, I'm having a positive feeling that this might be something special when it's all wrapped up and said and done. But those are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of AEW Fight Forever? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to subscribe, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.